Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our July 14th Select Board meeting. I'd like to take a roll call of members. Starting this end.
Kevin Kyra here.
Jacob Gearware, yes.
Lilia Maselli, yes.
Gary Palmer, yes.
Frank West, yes. So I see all members present. I'd like to, if everyone could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, everybody. We actually just returned from executive session, and it was executive session for the purpose of discussing strategies with respect to collective bargaining as it relates to New England Police Benevolent Association, NEPBA, Local 101 Dispatch, in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, C. Also, purpose of discussing multi-litigation relative to PFAS substance in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3. Also, litigation involving multi-district litigation against manufacturers and distributors of opioids in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 21A3. And lastly, pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 22A7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant in aid requirements for the purpose of reviewing and considering release of executive session minutes from June 23rd, 2025, in accordance with General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 22. Whew. Okay. Like a motion to review and sign payroll and bills payable warrants out of session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, no opposed? Appointments. I'd like to invite up Miss Leah Price. Is Leah here? And also in the audience, I don't know if you want
Yeah,
to
you can sit down.
come forward, there's Greg Bendel. I don't know if anybody in the audience here or the board remembers Mr. Bendel. But Greg is the senior class advisor for class of 25 from Shawshene Tech. And also Mrs. Christine Doucette. And she is Lisa's teacher and Skills USA advisor. So Leah, welcome.
Thank
Good evening.
Thank you.
So, it is our understanding that you won a gold medal in the Skills USA national competition in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're a recent 2025 graduate of Shawshene Tech's Business Technology and Marketing, and the gold that you earned was in the national job interview competition.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, so essentially it was, so Skills USA is a technical competition, so Shawshene Tech takes it very seriously. What I did was job interview, so I competed against about 40 states, I think, from all around the country, and it was based off maturity, professionalism, professional development, and I had a preliminary round where I competed, and I had an in-depth job interview. I greeted the receptionist, I filled out a job application, I went through the interview. It was about 4 questions, behavioral based questions, and then I made it to the final round. They chose about 12 contestants, and then the final round was the same thing, just different questions, a little bit more in depth.
Awesome, that's great. Now I see also this Ms. Doucette. Is she here? Ms. Doucette, would you like to make a comment?
Sure. Thanks for
Why don't you
having us.
go over to the speaker, to the microphone if you don't mind, or if you would like to sit down at the table?
Oh, I would love to. Thank you.
If you could just tell us what your position is here?
I'm an English teacher at Shawshene Tech. I was Leah's English teacher, among other things, and I was her advisor for this contest at Skills USA. I would just like to thank all of you for having us tonight and for honoring Leah. She is, I think, what we might call an unsung champion at Shawshene. She is not the first to be noticed or recognized, but she is always at work, and she made a difference at Shawshene that we won't forget. This contest required her to exhibit her poise and maturity and thoughtfulness, which are not traits that surprised me at all. But it also required her to speak from some level of experience. We're very grateful to her business technology shop and also her cooperative employment opportunities that provided her with the experience that allowed her to succeed here.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you. Mr. Bendel, would you like to say a few words? And by the way, thank you for bringing this to our attention, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, it's Greg Bendel, 57 Roosevelt Road. That's Bendel. And it's great to be back here with all of you again. But I rise in just to thank you all to take the time to recognize such a deserving person here who's really worked so hard. And this is just one of what I think will be many of her future accomplishments. She had an outstanding career at Shawsheen. I had the pleasure of working with her. She was one of our elected class officers as part of our student government, and she helped fundraise, and we did everything from raising money for activities to donating food to the food pantry at Thanksgiving time to preparing for the senior prom, which was very well attended up at the Sea Glass in Salisbury. Almost 400 people, and as like many of you, I can remember planning my own wedding. It certainly was not that big, but during that time, I just kind of nodded my head and said, yes, dear, to whatever the planning took. This was a huge undertaking by a small group. Leah was a critical part of that to plan such a successful prom, and she's been outstanding to work with, so I wanted to be here to congratulate her as well. And she's done a lot. I also want to acknowledge her skills in photography. She followed our basketball team for the last 4 years and took excellent photos for our team and for our players and coaches, so we can treasure those for a long time. In fact, her photography was recognized by the Boston Globe a number of times this year for her outstanding skills. And so Ms. Doucette, my colleague and friend, mentioned co-op. I know that Leah not only was an excellent student and involved in student government and all these activities, but also essentially worked full-time for New England Women's Healthcare every other week full-time as part of her cooperative employment. And she joins 67% of her other class, who made a record $1.8 million this year in the class of 2025, which we think is really good, not only for the students, but for our local businesses. And as our late, great Superintendent Charles Lyons once said, that if a high school student has $20 in their pocket, they'll spend 25. So it's really good for our local economy. So we're really, really proud of all the things that she's done. We think she's a shining example of not only she's represented Shawsheen very well, but also the town of Wilmington. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention she was also the recipient of the Town of Wilmington Scholarship. And I was very pleased to be able to present that to her at Scholarship Night recently. And we have this running joke, her and I, she'll laugh, I know, and she'll give me a hard time about this, but about, during my time of being in office, and she was always curious about that. And so when I presented the scholarship to her, I said to her, and she'll probably remember this, do you remember what I said? That I look forward to voting for you someday. Because I think she's the type of person that we can all really be proud of. And so we're extremely proud. And my final note, I did want to, she joins another great example of the business tech program, who also, if you remember the famous story, during her Student of the Month lunch, was offered a co-op job with the town of Wilmington just a few years ago. And if it wasn't for that meeting and that luncheon, I don't think the town would operate as well as it does. So I want to acknowledge another great graduate of this business tech program that's here with us. But thank you so much for acknowledging. Congratulations, Leah. We're really proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to, any comments from the board? I'll start at this end.
Leah, what can I say? Congratulations to
Thank
you. Thank you for representing Wilmington so proudly, and we're proud of you and what you've accomplished. I'm sure your parents and your family and friends are as well. And I hear you're going to Suffolk University
Yes,
to be
I am.
an attorney,
Yes.
which is awesome.
Oh,
Yes, thank you. Yep. I'm proud to be a part of this community. I really appreciate the recognition. It was really nice to be able to represent Wilmington at a national level. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely amazing job. And I think it's really kind of cool to see that, like a job interview competition, they teach you that. They didn't teach me that in high school, right? So you had to learn on your own when you got to college or whatever. So I think it'll really help you in your career, which sounds like you're going to be an attorney. So
Thank
good
you.
luck.
I hope so. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
yes.
Ms. Mazzelli?
Wonderful news. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. And
Thank
you're
you.
very, I can see how you aced it. Just you represent yourself very well spoken and everything, and you're going to clearly nail your job interviews post Suffolk or
Thank
post
you.
law school. So I look forward to what you're going to do with the future. I'm super excited for you.
Thank you
and
so much.
A shout out to Shawsheen. It's such a great school, and
course.
you're a shining example of that. And I just love that you've taken it this far, and
Thank you so much.
best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
Just want to congratulate you. I mean, it's an amazing feat, and for you to be able to accomplish something like this, I couldn't do any of this when I was younger or even now. It's just incredibly impressed with it and the way you represent Wilmington and the Shawsheen Tech. I want to congratulate you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and I'll end on comments that I wish you well at Suffolk. I look forward to one day hearing attorney Leah Price.
Yes.
Thank
Esquire.
you so much.
So it'd be nice to see that. With that, we do have a certificate that would like to present on behalf of the town. Excuse me. And actually, if we could, I think we got a camera. We can get all of us get over all the select board
Sure.
and our
Be
town
careful,
manager.
Lars.
And I'll just read this real quick. It's a certificate of celebration presented to to Leah M. Price on the triumphant occasion of her earning the gold medal in job interview, Skills USA National Competition, Atlanta, Georgia, presented this 14th day of July. Frank West Senior Chair Select Board, Eric Slagle, Town Manager.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Be careful with all these wires here.
All right, everyone ready?
Thank you.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
Second. Second.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Take care, and thanks again.
Take care.
Congratulations. Okay, 7:10, we have Amelia D., Amanda D. Ost, Tavern in the Square, request to obtain one-day alcohol license to sell beer and wine at Fall Fest for property located at 142 Middlesex Avenue.
Good evening. This is actually Adam Dory. He is representing Tavern in the Square tonight. My name is Patrick Giroux. I oversee the 4th of July Committee in Wilmington. I thought with us being the sponsoring organization, I would just take a quick second to say why we're here and what we're hoping to obtain, and then I'll pass it off to Adam to talk briefly about what they have to offer. So we once again thank the board for their continuous support for our wonderful community events throughout the year. We have received formal permission from this board to permit Fall Fest on Saturday, September 27th, with the rain date of Saturday, October 4th, at the municipal parking lot and the town common. So that aside, we are looking to obtain a one-day temporary, a one-day beer and wine license for Fall Fest this year, which is what brings us here tonight. So the 4th of July Committee, if you recall, last year partnered with a company called In the Mix, and they provided our beer and wine sales last year for Fall Fest. It was the first year that we had alcohol at the event. This is our third year having the event and our second formal year having the alcohol. We partnered with In the Mix last year. Unfortunately, due to some corporate restructuring, they are not available to partner with us this year. Fortunately, the committee has formed a wonderful relationship with Tavern in the Square. Hopefully, a lot of us in here are familiar with Tavern in the Square. They're a wonderful operator based in Massachusetts, have multiple locations. One, I believe the closest one is in Burlington to Wilmington. They partnered with us this year at Fun on the 4th, providing some concessions. And in conversations with them, they do a lot of these community type events where they are the the alcohol supplier and seller of it, holding the license. So just to briefly recap the 2004 event, as it relates to the alcohol portion, since that's kind of what brings us here tonight. Last year we had over, I believe it was close to 3,000 beverages sold, between the beer and the wine, which is pretty remarkable for a first year, in my opinion. There was not a single issue to report, both on the vendor committee and public safety side. We did receive unanimous support from public safety in writing, just one, commending the event, and two, just saying how well done it was. The 4th of July Committee has been producing events in Wilmington now for 45 years. We wear our name, highly, and we know that all it takes is one mistake and things can be, thrown for the worst. So when it comes to partnering with vendors like Tavern in the Square, it is not something the committee takes lightly. We're very thankful for In the Mix last year, and we're also thankful for Tavern in the Square this year to partner with us. And last year, we're pleased to report that all the necessary conditions were met that this board put forward in front of us last year. And once again, we're happy to discuss any nuances this board would like to see this year. We met all necessary requirements in accordance with public safety officials last year, and we do anticipate that'll be the case this year. I think it's most important to mention that it's going to be the same setup and layout as it was last year. And I'll pass it off to Adam in a moment to talk about the specifics of it. But the quote-unquote beer garden at Fall Fest will take place in the same area with food vendors, which is the municipal parking lot. The distribution area for the alcohol will be in the same area. Fall Fest in general is from 9 to 4. The beer garden portion will be open from 11 to 4, with the last call, if you will, at 3:30. There is a 3-drink maximum that folks 21 plus can purchase. Tavern in the Square is the one holding the one-day alcohol license, so they will be the ones administering the compliance for this, as well as the distribution of alcohol. And I think one of the most notable things to mention is not only what Fall Fest does, but also what this portion of Fall Fest does, and that is the goodwill that it does for the community. There's a lot of fun that comes out of Fall Fest. There is a lot of great work that comes out of Fall Fest, whether it's community groups fundraising, in my opinion, families making wonderful memories. It makes us all proud to call Wilmington home, but Fall Fest also allows us to produce the Fun on the 4th every year, and it also allows the 4th of July Committee to have this wonderful partnership that we've had with this group the last couple years, and that's the Wilmington Game Day. And that's an event that's sponsored by the Wilmington School Department, Wilmington Special Education Team, and the Special Olympics. And for those that are unaware, it's a day in the spring where hundreds of students from Wilmington and neighboring towns come together for some good competition, fun, and most importantly, inclusion. Last year, due to the efforts of Fall Fest, whether it be the wristband sales or donations made from various purchases throughout the event, the committee was able to donate over 500 T-shirts to this game day event for the Special Olympics. We also donated some tables and chairs. I was a bit surprised to learn, up until our contribution with them, the students would have lunch on the ground. They'd get a sandwich or whatever it was from the food services department, and they would sit on the grounds and eat the sandwich. And I'm sure they were all very happy, but there's just something about sitting at a table and a chair when you're having lunch. So it was something the committee was very proud to donate. As crazy as it sounds, as little as it sounds, a table and a chair is an expense on one line item. The special needs department, would much rather put that money towards having the event for the children and making sure the event could be, seamless. So the 4th of July Committee was pleased to donate something like that so the students could have lunch, collectively in a table. So I think in closing, from my portion, we're hoping for the board's support once again to have this beer garden. I think this is what helps the event, make it so successful. It was a wonderful contribution to the event last year. It was very safe. It was very fun. I think people truly enjoyed it. It was great seeing so many of you guys at it last year. I saw, a lot of our, whether it was elected officials or town officials enjoying, a beverage, safely in the, in the parking lot with fellow residents. And we're looking forward to partnering with Tavern in the Square. And I'll pass it off to Adam to talk about, kind of what Tavern does in the community and how they, operate similar events and kind of what the expertise they bring to the table.
Thank you, Patrick. Again, my name is Adam Dory. I'm the COO of Broadway Hospitality Group, or Tavern in the Square. We currently have 17 tavern locations and 4 independent models, which are kind of underneath our portfolio a little bit. We have 5 more taverns under construction currently, 2 actively, 3 more starting in the next 6 to 8 weeks. I guess one of the part-time jobs that I've acquired, the many part-time jobs that I have, is kind of overseeing and orchestrating an off-site event or a piece to this a little bit. In the last few years, we've certainly grown it far beyond to what we ever anticipated that it would be, and I think participating in events very similar to this. Most recently, we did the Food Truck Festival of America this past weekend, and we have a good partnership with them. And I think probably a mirrored image of what we'll see and attempt to participate in is the October Fest in Littleton, which is kind of a very similar schematic. I don't know if you... Yeah, it's a wonderful event. We're actually the primary and exclusive beer vendor there. We partnered up with the community and the Park and Rec Association there. This will be our 4th year doing it, and we've certainly grown to capacities which we never anticipated previously. Again, utilizing servers and bartenders, from Tavern in the Square, Burlington, who are all tip certified, that go through extensive training through their hourly training, obviously to promote safety and responsible service of alcohol within our tavern models, and all of those practices are also taken outside in events such as this. I think from a schematic and operations and setup standpoint, it'll be to the left of the 4th of July headquarters, cordoned off. We'll have a number of server and bartenders present, as well as kind of a different cordoned off area for our IDing humans and wristbanding humans. Again, a big piece of what we do is identifying and kind of age bracketing. And also fake IDs, right? And I think we have to consider that too. We at Tavern, as a policy, any out-of-state ID, we require a secondary form of ID as kind of a support, and we will be applying that at this event as if it's approved. And it's not, we would treat this just like we did kind of in our home and in our locations. Obviously, I think in being a partner at the Fun and the Fourth, we had an incredible time. It was great to partner with Patrick and the community and kind of participate in that. And it's not, we just want to kind of continue to build upon what relationship that we've created, and to kind of participate in this event and also be a contributor to the town of Wilmington as well. We have our own security. We look forward to partnering with the Wilmington Police Department as well. And any, anything that they need on our behalf, we certainly have the resources. And I think the skills, and I think most importantly, the training piece is to do this very responsibly. Again, it's not only our staff trained to, identify or serve responsible service of alcohol, but identify signs of intoxication and kind of things of that such. Again, we don't know what people have consumed prior to the event, and that's one thing we have to take into consideration. We do have security also too that does work for Broadway Hospitality Group, that work under independent models in Boston. So we probably will employ some of them. Again, just as kind of pieces to promote, and they're more hospitality, I think, than anything. But I think just to, promote, wherever these zones and safety zones and authorized and approved drinking areas are. And it's on, we look forward to, participating in it again with your approval, so.
Okay.
And happy to answer any questions that you
All
have.
right. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. First, I'd like to just field questions. I don't know if I'll go this way. Gary?
As like last year, I'm all excited for this. It was a very impressive showing last year. After speaking to the police chief and everyone, there was no issues. I commend you. I welcome you now, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Baselli?
Thank you. Thank you, both of you. Very great presentations, very thorough. Will this be beer and wine again like last year? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Beer and wine only.
Yep.
It's not, actually, we've actually recently acquired this past year as, again, part of this kind of additional revenue center and be a part of the community. We purchased it's a beverage cart or trailer almost, so it's almost a self-contained kind of port. It's really neat, actually, and I think that hopefully you get to see it. But it's from a decor standpoint, it's very mobile, it's small, it's intimate, but it's very efficient, and it's built really for events just like this, so. Yep.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, so I
Thank you.
appreciate you partnering with us.
Of course.
All
Of
right,
course.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
I'll be quick. You got my support. Looking forward to it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you. hard cider, is that going to be served?
Yeah, so I think, well, it's not, I think looking at the menus too, obviously we need to consideration ABV and obviously the strength of the beer and kind of keep that in mind. We will keep everything, I think, to a domestic style anyway, more so Oktoberfest and seasonality kind of keep in line with the fall. But nothing with, again, it's not, with the understanding of people have the ability to drink or consume 3 cocktails over this period of time, we want to make sure that we're promoting a safe work environment there, or environment too.
How about liability, liquor liability, insurance?
We have all of that, yes.
Yep. Okay. No issues with the insurance? Last year, I think we got a copy of it, if I remember. So everything is covered. Did we go through town council to review?
So I don't know that we've gotten the certificate of liability yet. But we did get the positive referral from the police department. But we can certainly send that over to town council to review when we get it.
And again, I appreciate everything that the 4th of July committee does and the goodwill it does for the community and the work it does, especially with this being a family fun event. I, for one, don't think it's necessary to serve alcohol at a family fun event. That's just the way I feel. I'd hate for something to happen. I understand your professionalism and how you're going to be right on top of things, and you'll have security there, and the Wilmington Police Department will be there, and I saw the recommendation from the chief, and I'm sure other communities do this, but I just still have a bit of a apprehension with it right now. So.
Just if I may, really, if I may, very briefly too, I think one of the bigger pieces of this too, and it kind of came up in conversation and dialogue, is that the proceeds that go to benefit some of the people in the town, and it's not whatever charities or future. I think that's a big piece also to what we do, and the importance of this is the donation piece surrounding it, and we've yet to kind of work out the details of this. But that's also kind of near and dear to our hearts. It's not just about, I think, generating revenue, obviously, for Broadway Hospitality Group or Tavern in the Square, but as equally as important is giving back to the community, too.
A couple of questions that I had. Oh, did you want to see?
No.
Okay. A couple of questions that I had is that you're serving, obviously, beer and wine in this beer garden, if you will. Mm-hmm. Will you be serving either food or non-alcoholic drinks as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I can speak.
yeah, there'll be a mix. So, Adam's team is going to be having some tavern exclusive bites, which anybody that's been to Tavern in the Square knows how good their food is. So we're very excited for that. This takes place in what we call our food festival. Fall Fest has many components to it. There's a lot of pieces to it. We have our arts and crafts. We have our food. We have our beer garden. There's a lot, in between. But the beer garden portion will be where all the food is. So we are anticipating 30-plus food vendors, in addition to the tavern offerings. And then whether it's a mix of Adam's non-alcoholic offerings, we will have some beverage trucks as well that are serving non-alcoholic beverages, whether it's mocktails or gourmet coffees, things of that nature.
Okay. And just, Patrick, while you're here, just the opening, close of the event and the cost of the wristbands?
Yeah, so we are putting everything live, hopefully in the near future, but the event admission this year is $6. Again, this is the biggest fundraiser for Fun on the 4th, so that's why there is that nominal, admission fee. To my opinion, though, that admission gets you a lot. There's an inflatable park, there's a trackless train, there's a petting zoo, there are face painting, there's endless activities, live music by mainly Wilmington artists. So that admission fee gets you that. However, if you purchase your wristband in advance, this is new this year, you can buy it starting today. You can save $1. So you can buy your wristband for $5 online. But there's a full schedule. We're looking forward to publishing it very soon.
Okay, well, thank you, and I look forward to the event personally. I think it's be a great time for the community. I thank Tavern in the Square for offering this. I do see, if I don't mind, I see Police Chief Desmond in the audience. I don't know if you have any comments. If you go to the microphone, if you do, please.
Please get this letter.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was asked for a recommendation, which I did give. And, to Kevin's point, if you had asked me this 20 years ago, I would have said no way. But it's just a different world now. A lot of these communities are doing it. there's more families. I draw like a reference to the Treehouse Brewery in Tewksbury. They're very well run. It's just a different atmosphere. So certainly, I don't think there's going to be any issues here, and we're going to have plenty of staff there from my department to ensure that it's a safe environment. So.
Okay. Is there any questions of the police chief while we're here? Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Okay, with that, if there's no other discussion, I'd like to entertain a motion to grant their one-day liquor license or alcohol license to sell beer and wine at Fall Fest.
So moved?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? 4-1. Okay, well, thank you very much, gentlemen, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you guys.
Thanks.
Okay, 7:20, we're a little bit late. Chief Joe Desmond, to talk about National Night Out.
Yes, good evening. Before we get to Fall Fest, we have to get to National Night Out. I am here to formally ask permission to use Rotary Park as we do every year. It's going to be on August 5th this year. It's the first Tuesday of August. It's going to run from 5 to 9. As always, weather permitting, it's a well-attended event, as many of you have been there, and we hope to see you again this year. Pretty much the same type of event. We're going to have plenty of law enforcement displays, activities for the kids, charity raffles, things like that, and there will be food by Red Heat. Will be cooking. I don't know what the hours they'll be cooking, but they usually start around 6 o'clock or so. So there'll be food, activities, hopefully good weather. I would also ask permission, we like to hang a sign. None of this would be possible without, obviously, your support and the support of the Cummings Foundation, which defers a lot of the costs for this. So we like to give them credit. We like to hang a banner. I think we usually do it on outside, somewhere on the town property on Rotary Park a couple weeks before the event. So if we could have permission to do that, we'd appreciate it, and I'll answer any questions you might have.
Okay, start with Jake.
Well, first of all, great event. My daughters love it. So is that. One year we had, I think it was a Black Hawk helicopter.
Yes.
How do we ever get that back?
Well,
'Cause that was cool.
Well, we had a local connection with that. The pilot actually lived here in town.
Oh, okay.
So we were able to work that. We always try and, it's tough, because once you do that, it's hard to top it.
Yeah.
So we're trying to work on something like that. I know the state
Cool.
police, they're very busy that night because they have a lot of National Night Out events. So they've landed before, but a lot of times they'll just buzz around. So we'll see what we can do. I don't want to disappoint your daughters.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. Hope you enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
Gary? You'll mix it up a little
Look
bit.
forward to it. It's always a great time. Do you have a dunk tank?
Yes.
Are you going to be in the dunk tank? This is your last one,
No,
Chief.
that'll have to be negotiated.
I wish you the best, as always.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, we will say one thing. There was a certain member of our select board that dunked the town manager. I don't know, who was that, Mr. Manager?
Yeah, no, I think that the person will remain nameless, but if you check on WCTV, I think the culprit's right on there.
Kevin?
Chief, thank you once again for hosting and putting this event on. It's top-notch. You do it right every year, you and your department, to be praised and thanked for everything that you do for the community. I think the fire department also participates in it as well, and some other groups, but it's just a great community, a night event for everybody to enjoy, so
Right.
thank you.
Thank you. And I'm glad you brought that up. We couldn't do it without the help of the DPW, the electricians. I mean, the setup involved. It's a town event.
So everything here will be basically police, fire-related, all the
Yes,
exhibits?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
Most of this-
Ms. Pacelli?
Yeah, Chief, just echoing my colleagues' sentiments, it's always a great night. We went all the time when the kids were little, and even when they're older, I've been there, because it's nice to take a walk through and see all the families and everything. And I was there when the Black Hawk was there, so that was pretty cool. But thank you again for putting this on. I know that the residents really look forward to it, so thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And lastly, I'll just agree with my colleague's sentiments. Thank you very much for that, and don't stay, we're going to take this motion, and we'd like you to sit down for a moment.
Okay.
Stay seated for a moment. So, that said, would anybody like to make a motion for National Nights Out to be held at Rotary Park, August 5th, 5 to 9 p.m., and allow a sign to be held at Rotary Park 14 days earlier, up to
So
14
moved.
days earlier.
Second?
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
And Chief, we have you have an announcement to make about your upcoming job opportunities or lack of job opportunities. I hear you're going to be, you're retiring effective
September 4th.
September 4th, so that's before our next meeting, so we wanted to say thank you very much for all of your service. There'll be time to say more about that, but I don't know if my colleagues want to chime in and talk about that for a moment. Ms. Maselli?
Yeah, well, if this is the official, hopefully, I think we're going to drag you back in, like when you're a civilian, might have to wait till, but,
Thank you.
thank you so much. I mean, you've always been such, very good to this board and to the town, obviously the residents, and, I can't say enough about what you've done, and you're a wonderful person to begin with, and you've been a wonderful chief. So just thank you, isn't enough, but thank you for all you've done. You will be, I know you're leaving it in wonderful hands, and we're going to, it's going to be just as great, but you'll be sorely missed.
Thank you.
Mr. Kyra?
Yeah, I agree with my colleague. You will be sorely missed. And I know that Brian Pupa, who's coming in,
Right.
will take over right from where you left
Yeah.
off and continue to move the department forward as you have throughout these many years. Just outstanding, the professionalism, the compassion that you have for the community. You're always around, you're always available. That's the one thing I have to say about our police chiefs, the availability that you have and prior chiefs have had for this community is just top-notch. I don't know what it's like in other communities, but we can always count on you. We've always counted on you, and you will be missed, and good luck in your
Well
let me
deserved.
tell you, retirement's pretty good. I did it.
That's nice to hear.
Enjoy it, yeah.
That's nice to hear.
Mr. De Palma?
Chief, one way to find out if you are a good chief is what your men and women say about you. I've heard nothing but praises from over the years from your men and women to you. And having been the chair and sat down with you on a number of occasions regarding town business, I've always found professionalism, respect, and I think those are two things that I look forward to and seeing in you every time we've spoken. And again, like I said, showing to Wilmington the way it is, the department proves that we are a really special town, and that only can be instilled by the management. And I honor you, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary.
Sierra?
I made a comment before, but again, thank you for your service. Hope you enjoy retirement. And I don't know if you golf, but if you do, hopefully you get a few more rounds in.
We're going to try.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chief, we've known each other for a long time, and I wish you well in retirement. We'll drag you in here in September, but I wanted to thank you for my last 2+ years of being a select board member, conversations we've had professionally in the last 3 months as chair. I'd like to thank you for your professionalism and candor, so thank you very much, and certainly wish you well in retirement. And I'd like to, Mr. Sega, if you would.
Sure. I felt incredibly lucky when I took this job last year to inherit a chief like Chief Desmond. His department is incredibly well run, and it's a reflection of his personality and his skill at bringing aboard the right people at the right time. And it was very bittersweet when 3 months into my tenure, the chief gave me his 1-year notice. So I've had some time to think about it, but I wish you success in everything that you want to do. Thank you for everything you've done for Wilmington. I feel like I've appreciated all the hard work that I've seen you do in the year that I've been here, and I want to thank you for that, and thank you for helping me integrate myself into the community as much as you have, and congratulations. I'm sure we'll be talking about it before you're actually gone too.
Absolutely. I just want to say, one brief thing. I go to a lot of chiefs meetings, and I hear the horror stories from other chiefs and their lack of support they have in their city councils and in commissions, and it's kind of scary in some towns, not a lot of communities, but I've heard the other side, and I've always felt so supported in this community, always held accountable, but always held supported at the same time, and that's a great feeling for any kind of leader to have that kind of support, both with Select Board, Finance Committee, and the other boards. And I always felt that, and it's what makes a difference. And I'm sure Brian will carry on that tradition. So thank you again.
Sure.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Moving to communications, we have a letter, actually, Town Manager?
Yes, so the first two communications are on the same subject, but communication number one is from Deborah Wagner at Mass Department of Revenue regarding the excess and deficiency account from Shawshene Tech. And so it provided us the amount, which was $803,668 that was certified by the state. And then the second communication is from Tony McIntosh, superintendent of Shawshene Tech, regarding the impact of this certified excess and deficiency on their FY26 budget. Unfortunately, they did budget for a larger amount of E&D than they realized at the end of the year. So they held a special meeting in July they held a special meeting in July.
That must have been June.
Yeah, that must be June.
June,
Yeah, so at which time they made 3 changes to the Shawshene budget to balance the budget based on the E&D certified amount. The first was they eliminated the stabilization fund transfer of $750,000. Then they eliminated the E&D funding of $237,500 for the completion of the field house. And they modified the capital budget to move the pool pack replacement from FY26 to FY27 and reallocate that funding to the completion of the field house. Those are those communications.
Just a quick comment, because they're deficient in 2025 budget, this would be 2026?
Yeah, so this is the certification of their excess and deficiency from fiscal year '24. And their plan for the FY26 budget was to use a portion of that excess and deficiency to fund their budget. Unfortunately,
So would they be looking for additional funding at some point to make up their deficiency, or are you aware of that?
well, no, this is how
They just reallocated?
their proposal. I mean, the big change is the elimination of the stabilization fund transfer.
Okay.
So that I don't know if folks were at town meeting, not this spring, but the prior spring.
Right.
That stabilization fund was created that allowed them to transfer a certain amount of their E&D, and they'd planned to be putting aside funds every year to that stabilization. Well, their first year they aren't able to do it because of this transfer. But that's how they balanced it. They shouldn't be looking at us for
fine.
other funds.
Okay.
The third
Yep, you guys.
is a
Already.
is a letter from Anita Thomas, Director of Total Rewards Human Services, Azurity Pharmaceuticals. This is regarding the closing of the Azurity Pharmaceuticals Incorporated space at 841 Woburn Street as of December 31st, 2025. So this is the required letter to a notice of facility closing, and then that would be 75 employees that would be affected by that closure.
Okay. Next on the agenda is a board to consider item, appointing a select board member to serve on the school building committee. We had talked about that at our last scheduled meeting, and afterwards I did talk to Judy who is the chair of the committee, because I just wanted to make sure that just because we're putting somebody on, that, that they want somebody from an additional board member on. So with that said, would anybody like to make a motion? Well, actually,
I'll
I
make a
guess-
motion, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
I'll nominate Ms. Maselli to be our representative on the school board committee.
Okay, are there any,
School building committee.
are there any additional nominations?
I
or-
think it's motion made and then
second.
second that and see how that's.
Okay, we'll second
I'll
that
second
nomination.
that. I'll second it. 'cause
Little
I'm
seconds,
interested.
okay. Is there any other nominations from the floor, or?
I think we need to take that
wanna
motion up
take that
first,
vote.
and then if that fails, then we
Okay.
look for subsequent.
Sure. Okay, so all in favor of that nomination? Okay, so Lou, congratulations, you're on the school building committee.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, next, board to consider signing the deed relative to the sale of town-owned land located on Sheldon Ave, map 50, parcel 18, pursuant to an affirmative vote on Article 43 at the annual town meeting of May 3rd, 2014. Is there a motion to sign that deed?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Next board to consider is authorizing the Select Board Chair to sign revised application to Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities for local action units at 7 Cross Street. So if you want to talk about that for a sec, or?
Yeah, this is a memorandum from Valerie Gingrich regarding the change in the underlying structure of the 7 Cross Street from apartments to condos. And that change does require the signature of the chair. The other requirements of the development remain the same, and the same number of units will be placed on the town's subsidized housing inventory. So, from the town's perspective, it still does has the same impact on our affordable housing as it did before.
Okay, so is there a motion to,
Motion for discussion.
discuss,
Just
yeah.
mo-
Oh,
just
we'll do a
question
motion?
in regards to
Sure.
what Mr. Slagle mentioned about it does, though, because it's going from apartments to
Right.
condos, it does come off of our 40B count. Apartments
Yeah.
go towards our 40B count, and now we lose that because they're switching over to condos. And then I would also ask that a call be made to the real estate company there to make sure that they're not encouraging those current homeowners to park, as they are, from what I understand, to park their vehicles in Yentile recreation parking lot as an overflow to their condos. I don't know where they would park on an overflow, but it's my understanding in talking with residents who are visiting this facility for the purposes of purchase,
Yeah,
that they're saying, I have a spot, what if I have 2 cars or 3 cars? They say, oh, just park across the street at the Yentile recreational facility. They need to be explained that that's for people using that park and not using the condos.
And we have already done that, reached
Oh,
out to the
okay, great.
realtors that are, and letting them know that that's wholly unacceptable information to be providing, and that, we may be, Val and I are talking about putting up signage, making it very clear that the,
Good.
parking for 7 Cross Street is not allowed at that.
if I
But-
may.
But
Okay.
but the real
yep,
issue is that 40B count that we now lose
Yeah.
on that, so.
Mr. Chair, I was actually, that's where I was coming to. And I got to be honest with you, and I know things change, whatever, but I'm kind of disappointed in this change because when this was presented, it was presented as apartments, and now it just it leads me to believe that this was the intent all the time. I'm not saying it was, but, just kind of leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. So,
Mr. Palmer?
From the way I understand it is, there's no changes, other than it goes from apartment to sale. And also from what I understand, they had originally, and wanted to keep it apartments, but due to circumstances, things changed. That there was no, this wasn't conceived as for sale from the get-go. Thank you.
My only question is, does this set a precedent? Because we do have apartment complexes in town, and and to Kevin's point, is that if we have, just for argument's sake, an apartment complex of, say, just for argument's sake, 100 units with those 100 units counted as affordable, and then it turns into a condo complex with 15 converted into, to affordable, that could drop us under the 10%, and now, just when we think we're all set with 40B, that we're,
Yeah, and just so and while I agree that those are concerns, for folks who are not aware, both Princeton Properties and West Street did get their building permits
oh, finally, good.
at the end of last month. So those building units will now count towards our inventory again. They had dropped off because it was too long after the approval, but now that the building permits have been issued, they count towards our inventory again.
But nothing prevents them from doing the same thing now,
That's-
because we're setting a precedent
Yeah.
by doing this. I mean, they told us, as Ms. Maselli said, one thing, and now switching to another, right?
and
And does the affordable component, is this going to go out to, as others have, I think, what is it, Rachel Way? Or didn't they have a competition, so to speak, for people to apply for the affordable units?
Yes.
And Wilmington residents were listed as coming first in that opportunity to get those units. Is that going to be the same with this as well?
Oh, I'm not sure about that second portion, whether or not that was included in the original. If that was a part of the original decision, that hasn't changed, but I'm not familiar with the original decision to know whether that was a part of
The
it,
original decision of
of 7 Cross Street.
what? Going into condos and?
No, whether or not there was the
Preference
Wilmington
for
reference
Wilmington, yeah,
preference.
it usually is.
Yeah, I'm just not familiar with that particular board decision.
because I believe these properties are being offered as for sale properties today, and right now, technically, they don't have that ability. And they've been doing such for a while. I think when they got planning board approval, they said, okay, well, we're all set, we can do as for sale properties as opposed to for rent.
Because if I'm not mistaken, typically Valerie comes in with that information with another consultant when it comes to bidding out for those affordable units.
Right.
And I always thought we had a criteria, Wilmington residents, and then down the line type of thing, outside.
I can certainly look into that and find out.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
Could be wrong,
Okay, is there a motion to authorize the select board chair to sign the revised application to,
We had a motion
So moved.
already.
oh yeah, we had, did we have that, did you make, you started
we
that?
didn't.
Oh, you stopped
You
it.
made a motion with
No.
discussion.
I don't think that
My
was-
apologies.
No,
but I did make
he started, and then he just said, no, he just said discussion, but
Gotcha.
I guess is there a motion as follows? Mr.
moved.
Palmer, is there a second? So what do we do?
Yeah, I guess to be clear, do they already have the right to have the units, and this is just for it to count in the SHI initiative?
Yeah, so what?
Like, if it counts or not, that's different, right? Like, you might as well have it count. If they already have permission to sell them as condos.
Yeah, so this is an application. This is similar to what we went through with both, I think, Princeton Properties and West Street, where they're reapplying as a LIP. which was not their original financing piece.
Like, what happens if we say no, is what I'm getting at. Mm-hmm. Really?
I don't know that we need to say no as much as we should get some more information.
Yeah.
You know, how are they going to handle the condos? How are they going to, the affordability component is going to be issued out as others have been done in the past, you know.
And I'd also like to know the reasoning, which I'm assuming we probably know already, but why?
So if I might suggest, maybe there's a motion to table this into the August 18th meeting. We can have either Valerie or someone from the development come in and have a conversation with us. Put it back on the agenda.
I'll entertain the motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table to our next meeting.
Okay, anybody-
Second.
To
Second?
the September meeting?
The
Or,
August 18th.
August 18th.
okay, but no, is everybody in the board going to be at the August meeting? I thought we were going to be,
Oh, is everybody there?
one person wasn't going to be.
Mr.
Oh, no,
West just announced that
okay.
the next meeting's after the
Okay,
chief's retirement.
that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Yep.
so we have a
Motion
motion.
When is it?
and
August 18th.
Second, do we have a second?
Yep.
Yeah, I did.
Jake?
Wait a minute.
Okay, and my
I-
apologies.
I may not be here on August 18th. I will not be here for the board meeting.
I'll amend my
I'll be on
motion.
vacation.
I'll amend my motion to table this to the September,
First September meeting.
is it
September 8th.
8th, yes.
September 8th meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? I'd like to apologize to a member of the audience's point. The chief would not be here for the the August 18th meeting, and the September meeting, he will already have been retired. That's why I wanted to say a few words for them. But anyhow, that all being said, all in favor of table? All opposed? Okay. Moving along. Okay. Board to consider signing and closing the warrant for the special town meeting to be held Saturday, September 13th, 2025. Mr. Slager, would you like to make some comments on that?
I do. So this is the special town warrant, special town meeting warrant for the school proposal. What folks who are at home and may not see this, what we have is a two-article warrant. The first article is to hear a report of the Wilmington School Building Committee and act thereon. And the second article is the actual functional article that authorizes the borrowing for the school project.
Is there any discussion, any comments? Okay. That said, entertain a motion to sign and close the warrant.
So moved?
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Okay, next in line, a board to consider signing the warrant for the special town election to be held Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. Would probably want to amend that to have hours of the election, but Mr. Slager, would you like to comment on that?
Yes, so this is the warrant for the special election for the ballot question for the debt exclusion for the school project. As folks are aware, and both the warrant articles and the ballot questions are not really subject to our drafting. They are creatures of statute, and so they have to be written in the particular way that they are written. So this is the warrant for that election. As we had talked about earlier, once we finalize this warrant, it will allow the clerk to be able to order the ballots, and that will then allow us to schedule. And I think the clerk is prepared today to make public the dates for early voting. So if I'm Beth, if I remember correctly, I think the dates for early voting were going to be August 4th through September 5th. So early voting will be available at the clerk's office from August 4th to September 5th.
Okay. One question that I have, I see in the ballot question, it says to, construct, equip, et cetera, the new Wildwood Elementary School. Is this being named Wildwood Elementary School?
No, that's a requirement from the
MSBA.
MSBA because that's
Yeah.
the project name.
Project
the
name.
MSBA.
Okay. Okay, is there any discussion from the board?
Just, can you
Ms.
repeat the
Mazzelli?
dates of the early?
Yeah, so it'll be August 4th through September 5th.
Okay, great.
Regular business hours of Town Hall, which means open until 7 on Tuesdays and open until 12:30 on Fridays.
So typically, when we do early voting for a state or federal election, it's very intense and higher staff. We have 2 weeks where we have a set schedule.
Excuse me, could you go to the microphone just so that everyone in WCTV can hear? And I'd say, Beth, just announce your name and position, just make us official here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Beth Lawrenson. I'm the town clerk for the town of Wilmington. So typically, we have a set schedule that I get approved with your approval for state and federal elections. And the requirements of that are set by the state. Local elections are set by the select board. So if I chose to opt into in-person early voting, I would need your permission. And I'm not very strict with my schedule when the ballots come in, and I'm pretty confident I'm gonna have my ballots by August 4th because I'll be ordering them tomorrow if you sign this language. So when the ballots come in, people can come in and participate. They can ask for a vote by mail at any time during the year. They can ask for ballots all year long. So we already have a pile of applications for vote by mail, and I don't need your permission for vote by mail. I only need it for in-person. And I don't feel that it's, they don't use it enough for me to merit hiring additional staff. So we can do it at no cost to the taxpayers, right at our counter. My office can handle the volume. It comes in trickles. Some people are doing it because of vacation. Some people are doing it because they work a lot. Some couples work nights and days, and it's just more convenient for them. There will be more published events as we get closer. So if I get inundated with ballots, I may have advanced processing. As of the last election when I did this, I did something very similar. That was done the morning of by the wardens. Soon as the polls opened, they had their ballots, and they were checking people in and running them through the machines. If I get inundated, it's really hard to do that on an election day if we're being slammed with voters. So I don't know whether I'm going to book an advanced processing, and which is opening and running them through and locking up my memory cards. So we have all kinds of options. If I have to do that, then I have to work with the state on coordinating it. It goes on the state website, goes on you can request ballots on our online website with the state, things of that nature. There's a lot of things that go into place for it, but this is just an extra convenience for people to participate.
And Ms. Lawrenson, could you just, for the record, just say the dates and times for the early voting and also the date and time for the election?
So vote by mail, or date and time for the election, 8/8 for our local elections. It's in our bylaws.
On the 16th.
On the 16th.
September 16th, 8 to
Yes.
8.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
that's dictated by the inhabitants' bylaws, not by
Yeah.
my choice. And then the in-person early voting, Mondays, we're here 8:30 to 4:30. Tuesdays, we're here 8:30 to 7. Wednesdays, we're here 8:30 to 4:30. Thursdays, 8:30 to 4:30. And Fridays, 8 to 12:30.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? If you don't mind, I'll just take any questions.
Good.
Everybody
you.
else set? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lawrenson. Okay, that said, is there a motion to sign the warrant for the special election to be held on Tuesday, September 16th, and I would say 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.?
Motion to sign the warrant.
To sign, is there a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Okay, Thank you. Okay. Motion to consider request of Mallory Duggialo, Marketing Communications Coordinator, Reading Municipal Light Department, to use the municipal parking lot on Sunday, August 17th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for an electric vehicle car show, and to place promotional signs on the town common from August 10th to August 17th. Is there any discussion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gilwar. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Motion to consider, board to consider a request of Lisa A. Stokes for residents of Harold Avenue to have a neighborhood block party on Sunday, August 24th, 2025, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. I believe we have an email on that, and we have no issues from DPW, no issues from Chief Kavanaugh from Fire Department, and no issues, no concerns from the Police Department. Is there a motion to accept that? To consider that?
So moved.
Mr. Kyer, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Maselli. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you very much. And last under board to consider, a request of Lisa Sear, Wilmington High School Boys Lacrosse, to use the municipal parking lot on Middlesex Avenue on Saturday, May 9th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for a fundraising car wash. I believe we have an email on that, but I didn't see, is there any conflicts or any issues with that date?
No conflicts with that date. It's very much in advance.
Yep, okay.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
That's May, excuse me, that's May
2026.
9th, 2026, excuse me. I don't know if I said 2025, but it's May 9th, 2026. So, Mr. Kyrie, you made a motion. Is there a
Second.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Gilwar, all in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, we have public comments. For the, just for the record, we're limiting public comments to 5 minutes per speaker, and all comments will be directed to the chair. Sir, could you give your name and address for the...
Mr. West,
could
thank
give
you.
your Name and...
I'm going to speak anonymously tonight. Before I speak, Mr. West, I didn't want to use my time up because I'd like to point out a couple problems with your agenda. You just took a vote to allow...
Is that?
It's almost part of his time.
It is going to be part of your time, but go ahead.
Okay, you just took a vote to allow Reading Light to use the municipal lot, and I thought the farmer's market was there during that time. Just wanted to point that out. But I want to share some observations. You mentioned a problem with the apartments. I think the real problem is the amount of parking places in the bylaw that are required for the apartments being insufficient. My observations tonight are concerning the stability of people's financial means. With regard to the school, I've seen no analysis of the townspeople's financial stability to determine if they will be hurt financially by the increase in debt servicing responsibility. I've also observed that tonight the school is still being referred to as the Wildwood, which is kind of deceptive because for somebody who doesn't have the time to follow all the meetings or go to the meetings, they might think that that's still on the Wildwood site. And they might not realize that what they want to do is knock down a structurally sound building that's had millions of dollars put into it and is referred to as one of the most efficient, stable buildings in town. Mrs. Maselli, I heard you support the new school, and I believe your comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but your comments were that you support it because you feel as though a new school would be more efficient than an outdated school. Did I get that right?
Mr. All comments go through the chair.
Would you like to ask her that?
I'm not on trial here.
No problem,
Yeah.
no problem. I could have sworn that I heard that. I just went by the North Intermediate and I saw mini splits outside providing air conditioning and heat. And mini splits are a relatively new technology, so I don't know how you think that's outdated. The millions of dollars that were put into windows, I don't know how you feel as though that's outdated. A new roof,
Are you
I don't
speaking
feel
to
as though.
me?
You're not on trial, so you don't have to. You don't have to
you're
interrupt me.
saying
Sir,
you.
hold
You
on,
don't have to
sir.
Saying you,
interrupt
and
me.
if you
Sir.
attended
Yeah,
any
excuse me,
meetings, you
yeah.
would understand why it's still called the
Well, I
Waterloo
would
School
attend all the
Committee.
meetings, but
It's a long drive to come to Wilmington for you.
They had Zoom,
All comments
and now
face
they
the chair.
don't have COVID, and they're still having meetings on Zoom, which keeps people away from the meetings, and it's just another tactic to keep people in the dark. to
You're a
get
liar.
this joke approved.
Propaganda.
Hold on.
It's true.
I'm not going to let him speak like that.
And the other thing is, they have their meetings at like 6 o'clock when people are still commuting home from work. So to knock down a
Including the
structurally
people that
sound
are,
school
people
building,
on that board
I
work.
don't think I really want to listen to you because you don't
Hold
want
on.
to answer
Ditto.
questions.
Both of you, please. All comments through the chair, please. Thank you.
Well, the other thing I wanted to mention was the deceitful testimony that we've had in the past. And I believe there was at least one finance committee member who got up and said that there will be no tax impact to the taxpayers for the new town hall school administration building. And then it goes out to a bond offering. So I really don't understand how somebody in a position of leadership can stand up there and tell people that your taxes are not going to go up when it's like a $40 million debt to the town.
Mr. McDonald, I'm looking at that clock, and you've got a minute left.
Okay, Mr. West. And so I asked you about over a month ago to give us a total cost of the senior center. Also, I asked for a total cost of the town hall school administration building with any extras. And so I specifically asked you that question. So are you prepared, or did you do anything to get those numbers for us?
No.
Of course not, because
What you can do is
you're a
say you
joke.
can.
You don't live in town anymore. Where do you
No,
live?
the thing about it is, Mr.
I
West,
can't
okay?
Hold on.
this guy
The thing about it is, Mr. West, if you want to be a selectman, and then you're going to have a meeting after the Chiefs leaves in September? Are you serious? There's millions of dollars that get spent every week.
Mr.
And you
McDonald.
don't even approve the warrants at the meeting. You're signing them out of session. How is that even legal?
Mr. McDonald, your time's up. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Derek.
Next.
Hi, Jonathan Eaton, 78 Glen Road. Speaking tonight as a town moderator. I just want a question. Could you tell me the location of the special town meeting on the 13th?
Just a minute.
That's going to be at I apologize, we should have
No,
mentioned that.
yeah.
That's going to be at the gymnasium at the high school.
Okay. I just want to provide some context for folks because we are anticipating certainly that there is going to be a large attendance there. Our town clerk, she has left for today, but she has been doing an awful lot of work making sure that additional parking lots are available, that we'll have a bus shuttle that's kind of circling between the lots to bring people to the high school. We'll have, again, the gymnasium. We'll also have overflow rooms in the auditorium, the cafeteria, the band room, the large group instruction room, the flex room, and I believe the Knights of Columbus has been reserved for CARES for folks that sign up in advance. So there will be more to come about how people can attend, because a lot of people that attend meetings with large projects may not have attended every single annual town meeting. They may have questions, and I would encourage them to reach out to me, but there will be some more information available to people that have questions and might be confused about the process. And I'm happy to answer them, and I'm happy to be part of some sort of messaging to make sure that people understand and have some expectations as to how the meeting will be conducted.
As town moderator, would you mind if we had you as an agenda item on our August 18th meeting?
Do you want September 8th? Is that?
No, our August meeting.
You don't even
There's also
live in
September.
Wilmington.
Either August or
September.
September.
You're intelligent.
September 8th, that would be right before the.
It may
Okay.
make more sense.
You're
I'll
such
check
a
my
child.
calendar, but it may make more sense to have it on September 8th. It's close in time if we do it.
Ask him where he lives.
August 18th, people are still on
Okay.
vacation. So my suggestion, I mean, I'll come here if you tell me to come here, but
Okay, thank
my
you.
suggestion would be put me sometime after the chief and his goodbye, and I'll.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Could I ask the moderator a question?
No,
You just said to ask questions.
thank you. Next.
Paul Scheller, 448 Hopkins Street. Just a point point of parliamentary procedure regarding the motion that you made, 7 Cross Street. There was no notation of what took place with that. Shouldn't that have been declared because there was no second failure? The motion, in other words, the motion failed for lack of a second?
We motioned to table it to a.
Yeah,
a
but-
different-
Correct.
But yes,
I believe in the
okay, I
notes,
gotcha.
it'll
Yeah.
reflect it failed for lack
Yeah,
of a
we'll-
second.
We will have published
That's all I'm
minutes.
saying. You made a motion to sign it. There was lack of a second.
Sure.
You looked around, table end to end, no second. It should have been, the motion fails for lack of a second. Could the minutes please reflect that? That particular that motion was not the table. That motion was to sign,
Okay.
was to have
We
the
can-
chair sign.
She'll annotate it in the notes,
Okay,
thank you.
well,
Fair
that's
enough.
what I'm saying. So it's not,
Yeah.
it's not a different motion. It is a different motion than the motion to table. It was the motion to sign. It failed for lack of second.
Thank you.
That's it. Secondly, there is several outstanding communications that I've given you, Mr. West, as well as the rest of the board, members of the board, that I've yet to hear back from anybody on. Is there any particular time when you are going to respond to the April 28th communication that I actually hand-delivered to everybody here, and the June 13th communication, which was sent via email?
Well, you and I have had communication. I don't know.
We had communication, but you kind of drove the bus on that by discussing what you wanted to discuss that night during our phone call. And as you recall, that I had a personal commitment at 5:30
Yeah.
that night, and I had to leave at
But we-
5:30.
but we also
which-
have
let-
had-
Let me finish. I'm talking, let me finish. I left at 5, I had to end the conversation at 5, the telephone conversation at 5:30. But as I left it, it was, I want to talk to you on the second subject of that night that you pushed off so you could discuss the Bazell Schools topic. And I said I wanted to discuss it before the next select board meeting. And then the next day or the next day after that, I sent you a thank you email and said, yes, thank you for calling, but I want to talk to you again about the second topic before the next select board meeting. And that never happened. So that portion of that
Yeah.
conversation that I wanted to have with you never happened.
Eh,
I'm not done talking yet. That
You got
didn't happen.
2 minutes.
So I ended up sending you, as well as the rest of the board, a email on June 13th that elaborated on a whole lot of things, including that second topic. And I have not heard back. Now, that was June 13th that was sent out, and today is July 14th. So when can I have some type of feedback or answer on the April 28th hand-delivered communication and the June 13th email communication? Do you have a time frame when those are going to be responded to by the board?
I will have a conversation with Mr. Slagle, hopefully this week sometime. We'll go over some things. And I will say, Mr. Shalaford, that the telephone has 2 answers.
You reached out to me after
Based on
I
your
reached
email.
out to you.
Based
and
on your
what
email.
it was I left it as, I want to talk to you again prior to the next select board meeting, and I reiterated that point in a follow-up email, and I heard nothing from you. Now,
Okay,
it's
you-
not me to chase you around. You're the one that represents me as the constituent.
I will have.
It's not a two-way street. You reached out to me, can you give me a call? Yes, we set up a time to call. I called, we had conversation. It had to be cut short because of a personal commitment that I previously had, which I discussed with you. And I said to you during the conversation, I want to follow up on this second part that we weren't able to talk about. I pushed it off at the next I pushed it off to the next meeting because it was going to be long-winded. I said, I'm going to put it in writing, to which you affirmed, yes, why don't you put that in writing? Which I did on
Okay.
June 13th, and it was sent out, and I have yet to hear from anybody in a month. And I want to know, number one, why I haven't heard from anybody, and number two, when am I going to hear from somebody?
You will hear from me before the next selectman meeting
Well, the next
personally.
select board another month.
You will hear from me in 2 weeks. If you don't like that answer, I'm sorry.
Okay, if you don't want to be a select board member and do something that you're asked, Mr. West, that's it. It's called courtesy, it's called professionalism, it's
Yes,
called respect.
and we serve on a part-time-
I'm talking.
No, you're
Just a
done.
public
You're
comment.
done, sir. Your 5 minutes is up. Your 5 minutes is up.
Finish what I was going to say.
Your 5 minutes is up, please.
You interrupted him.
You interrupted me about 2 minutes worth of interruptions. So why don't you do your job as the chair and get back to me in a reasonable period of time?
I will.
Not another month.
I will within,
another month.
I will within 2 weeks. Watch your tone of voice with me, please. Thank you.
I can
Next,
be
you're
rude
done.
If I feel like
You're
being rude.
done.
You know it's a protected right.
You're done. Thank you. Next.
My name is Anne Marie Steele, and I'm a resident of Reading, for which I'm grateful. Good evening.
Your address?
1049 County Road in Reading.
Thank you.
That was really great. Good evening, Wilmington Select Board. I'm here today to share critical information regarding our state's voter rolls and voter history from the 2024 general election. This information comes from extensive research conducted by a team of data experts at United Sovereign Americans, a nationwide nonpartisan volunteer organization. Their team meticulously analyzed official election files from both federal and state sources. While I am not an official spokesperson for United Sovereign Americans, I am a dedicated volunteer who is deeply concerned by the findings that are based exclusively on official state election data. Our analysis of the certified results from both the 2022 and 2024 general elections reveals that not all votes counted were valid and accurate under the law. These findings are substantial and warrant careful consideration. They have already been shared with state election officials and law enforcement agencies and have been submitted as evidence in federal court as part of ongoing litigation by United Sovereign Americans and other parties. United Sovereign Americans is not alone in raising these concerns. Recent executive actions at the federal level, such as the executive order entitled Preserving and Protecting the Integrity of American Elections, underscores the urgent need to enforce and clarify existing election laws. These directives are intended to guide state compliance and ensure that election crimes are prosecuted because the integrity of our electoral system is at stake. Therefore, we are here to seek your awareness, understanding, support, and action. We are proposing a resolution that highlights key statistics and calls for an end to the inaccuracies and uncertainties that compromise our elections. By adopting this resolution, you will demonstrate your commitment to your constituents' concerns and your dedication to upholding voters' civil rights and the integrity of our elections here in Middlesex County. It is imperative to address these issues now. If we do not act, the same election systems and procedures that led to errors in 2022 and 2024 will likely produce similar results in the upcoming 2026 general election. And at this time, I will turn it over to the next reader to present the resolution.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joanne Mixis. I'm also a volunteer with United Sovereign Americans, not a spokesperson.
Could you give your address for the record, please?
15 Jackson Lane, Wakefield, Mass.
Thank you.
Resolution for a legally valid 2026 general election. Free and fair elections form the cornerstone of the Republic of the United States, as stated in Reynolds versus Sims from 1964. Quote, "The right of suffrage can be denied by a debasement or dilution of the weight of a citizen's vote just as effectively as wholly prohibiting the free exercise of the franchise. Election officials bear the responsibility to ensure elections remain accurate and free from manipulation. In Indiana R.E. Coy from 1888, the United States Supreme Court affirmed that election officials must strictly adhere to federal and state laws governing process, defining election misconduct as follows, quote, "The evil intent consists in disobedience to the law." Our constitutional system of representative government relies on 4 fundamental principles for validity in our elections. Number 1, accurate voter rolls. Election officials must maintain voter registration lists that are current and correct, which includes facilitating the registration of eligible citizens as well as preventing the registration of non-citizens, fictitious names, and ineligible applicants. That's from the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. Number 2, eligible voters only. Election officials must only count votes cast by eligible citizen voters. That's from the U.S. Constitution, 14th Amendment, Section 2. Vote reconciliation. Election officials must ensure that the number of votes counted matches the number of participating voters. And number 4, system accuracy. Voting systems must achieve accuracy standards set by Congress by limiting ballot counting errors to no more than 1 error per 125,000 ballots. That's from the Help America Vote Act from 2002. Election officials must substantiate assertions of accurate outcomes with transparent records. United Sovereign Americans conducted an independent audit of the Massachusetts 2024 general election and uncovered alarming irregularities. 752,902 voter registrations with material errors and omissions in the voter database. 326,249 votes improperly counted from these ineligible or uncertain registrants. 191,597 excess votes counted beyond the number of voters who participated with no explanation for their origin. 326,220 voting violations exceeding the legal error threshold, where only 29 errors were allowed under federal law. The audit findings indicate severe violations of state and federal election laws and potential fraudulent certification.
So you may need to raise the microphone up, please, if you can. I just want to make sure that WCTV can capture. Up, you good with that microphone at that level? Okay, she's good at that level. You can.
She wants it up.
You can leave the microphone.
Good.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, could you say your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Ken Steele. I live right here in Reading, Massachusetts, 149 County Road in Reading. And I too am a volunteer with United Sovereign Americans, not a spokesperson. And whereas election accuracy is defined as the ability to capture and report voter selections without error, by definition, only eligible citizens are voters. Election officials violate civil rights, undermine public trust, and jeopardize national security when they certify an election that fails to reach this standard. Whereas the irregularities of the official records of the 2024 general election call into question the validity of that election, threatening the guaranteed protection of our natural rights under a Republican form of government. This emergency inflicts immeasurable harm upon our families, our way of life, and the fabric of the United States. It raises the specter of false representation in the United States Congress and in state governments, an allegation that election officials are currently unable to disprove. Therefore, be it resolved that the Wilmington Select Board of Middlesex County demands immediate action to ensure a legally valid and transparent 2026 general election by implementing the following measures. 1, infrastructure compliance. Election officials must ensure that all voting systems meet Federal Information Security Modernization Act, FISMA standards, and maintain compliance throughout the election process. Number 2, voter verification. Verify that all voters are legally eligible U.S. citizens before their votes are counted. If a voter's eligibility is in question, their vote must be held as provisional until legally verified. Number 3, ballot security. Enforce all issued and counted ballots to comply with robust chain of custody protocols to secure ballots from forgery, tampering, coercion, destruction, or injection. Number 4, accurate counts. Ensure all voted ballots are received and every valid ballot is accurately counted, with any material questions resolved through lawful adjudication procedures with oversight. Number 5, proven outcome. election officials must investigate and resolve, or if necessary, re-administer any elections that cannot be proven accurate and compliant. In every jurisdiction, officials must provide records substantiating election and initiative results to citizens. Additionally, officials must securely store all ballots and operational records, including electronic records, to protect them for auditing purposes from tampering or alteration. And be it further resolved that the Wilmington Select Board calls upon county, state, and federal legislatures, law enforcement agencies, prosecutors, judges, and election boards to uphold these principles, ensure legal compliance, and restore public confidence to our electoral system. Our signatures to this resolution affirm our commitment to protecting the constitutional mandate of legitimate representative government and ensuring that every valid vote is counted accurately and lawfully.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know how to adjust that.
Might we just tip the microphone down a little bit, maybe? Name and address for the record, please,
My
sir.
name is Jeff Cohen. I live at 18 Cobalt Street in this town, Wilmington. I'm a volunteer with United Sovereign Americans and not a spokesperson. In conclusion, you've heard a resolution that exposes significant inaccuracies from voter registration through certification of the 2024 general election. It calls for immediate substantive action to ensure integrity in the 2026 general election for all voters. The resolution is firmly grounded in multiple U.S. Supreme Court precedents which underscore the necessity of these corrective measures. Our current election procedures do not fully comply with established laws, and these laws are too often being disregarded. Some citizens, including election officials, mistakenly believe that these issues can be ignored because the president, the current administration, and other officials are, quote, handling it. This complacency represents an abdication of civic responsibility. Benjamin Franklin's warning, quote, "It's a republic if you can keep it," end quote, applies not only to his generation, but ours as well. Your leadership and decisive action are urgently needed. Our voting system, which should protect our most fundamental right, the right to choose our representatives, is failing to deliver accurate, transparent, and verifiable results. Should we continue to ignore the anomalies within our election system, a system essential to our national security? The cost of inaction extends far beyond dollars. It threatens our economy, military, foreign policy, public health, the confidence of our youth, and our national dignity. The stakes could not be higher. I urge you to demonstrate your commitment to the American representative government by passing this resolution. Let us consider the broader context. Many Americans, including a significant number of residents in Massachusetts and Middlesex County, have concerns about the reliability and transparency of our elections. While we all wish this was not the case, our government data substantiates these concerns, and the law requires that they be addressed to safeguard our liberty. Regrettably, government representatives at various levels have not been transparent or responsive to citizen audits of official election data. The right to choose our representatives through lawful and transparent elections is the cornerstone of our constitutional republic, a right fiercely defended for over 2 centuries. Today, you have the opportunity to uphold that legacy and demonstrate to your constituents that you value American liberty by passing this resolution. For further information, the United Sovereign Americans website provides informative videos explaining the anomalies, apparent legal violations, and lawsuits identified in Massachusetts and other states. I encourage you to visit uniteforfreedom.com. That's unite, the number 4, freedom.com, to learn more about this vital issue. Thank you for your attention and consideration. It's worth noting that we have been here before. About a year ago, United Sovereign Americans, some of the same people that presented today, presented a resolution for a legally valid 2024 general election. We presented here and in 18 other municipalities across Massachusetts. A year ago, we presented the scorecard from the 2022 general election. Today, we presented the scorecard from 2024, and it shows that the number of apparent violations and the number of seemingly invalid votes are increasing. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
May I
sir.
approach, give you a resolution?
you know, we are not going to take a vote on it today.
I want to give you this, though. Can I give you that?
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else looking to be heard?
Yeah, would you put it on an agenda item for next meeting?
We'll have a discussion on it. We'll take,
Advertisement.
Discuss if we're going to be.
And
What-
next is announcements.
one thing that I would like to say, I don't talk a lot on public comments. Number one, Mr. Shalafore, I owe you an apology. You're right. I did say that I would get to you before the prior town selectman meeting, and I apologize for that. I got tied up. As you know, I got a personal life too. We serve here as a part-time basis, but I will get you, we'll have a conversation within the next 14 days.
Thank you.
If not sooner.
I appreciate it.
Okay? That said, to all these people, one of the things, you know, I've been a member of this community for 62 years. I've been a voting member for, if you do the math, probably about, 43 of those years. I've sat in those seats in the 1990s when the Board of Selectmen, that's what they were called back then, did not have public comments. My wife Karen and I sat in those seats, and we wanted to speak. And the board at that time said, no, you can't. You don't have a voice at this table. Okay, so I've had people that have called me and said, take public comments off the agenda. I've had people call me and say, let's reduce this down to 2 or 3 minutes. So I want to keep public comments open because I think it is important for us to hear the public. But in the same token, I appreciate a civil tone when we speak to each other. Like I said, I was in those seats. You never know. Maybe in April I'll be in those seats again. I don't know. But again, bear with this group. We serve on a part-time basis, and I'll speak to my colleagues directly. I think you all do a damn good job. So that's my position. So with that, announcements. Any announcements from the board? Okay, I actually have 2 announcements. One, just so you guys know up front, is that starting today, postage, United States postage went from 73 cents to 78 cents. So I just, we all, for the most part, we have forever stamps, but for those that are putting, 5-cent stamps on the envelope, it's 78 cents. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And the other thing is that over the weekend, on Saturday, I attended the Harrington Tavern. I was at the Harrington Tavern where Matt Bear and Bonnie Smith and the Historical Commission put together a program on World War II and Korea at the Harrington Tavern, which was postponed from Father's Day weekend. So it was a great, short notice turnaround to be able to do something. The weather was fantastic. Being a World War II and Korea event, we actually did have a gentleman at 100 years old who was a veteran, World War II vet from the United States Army, and it was great to have a conversation with him and his daughter. We also had our veterans officer, Lou Samaglia, was there speaking, as well as our state senator, Barry Feingold, and our state rep, Dave Robertson. So I just kudos to to everyone that put that event and everyone that attended. And there actually was a flyover from an airplane. New business.
Oh, if I could just make one. This might fall into
Sure.
either one. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to go back on early voting. I just wanted to kind of make a statement on that. I know some people, may be against it or whatever, and of course, that's their right and their opinion. But I have heard that people think that, early voting, which, as Beth had mentioned, we've done in federal and local elections, that it kind of swings the pendulum one way or the other. And I just wanted to say it does not. It gives people the opportunity to get out there who may not be around for Election Day for whatever reason. It gives people, the opportunity to get out, at lunchtime, whatever it may be. But just as many people, can vote for one candidate or the other, or whatever the things will be. So I just want to kind of hopefully stop that conversation that, it doesn't favor one side or the other. It's a convenience for our residents. And it's in person, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements?
I just want to clarify something, Mr. West. We're not voting
Any
for...
other new business
Yeah, we're
from
not
our
voting
board
for
members?
candidates, we're voting for a debt exclusion.
I was making an example, Mr. Kevin McDonald, who doesn't live in Wilmington anymore.
Yeah.
Excuse me, any new business from the board?
I was making an
Any new
example.
business- Any new business
It's
from the board?
delicious. I'm having it for dinner tonight.
Any new business from the
Yes.
board?
Sorry, I apologize, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. De Palma, new business.
Yes. Through the chair, I'd like to ask that the town manager review the zoning and bylaws regarding brewery sale and manufacturing of beer. There are companies that are interested in moving into this area, and I believe we should be looking at getting whether it's a zoning change or a bylaw change, I believe we should get moving on it. I keep hearing, where do you go in Wilmington?
I agree.
Samads at night? No offense to Samads, great roast beef, but where do you go? There is nothing in this town anymore. Breweries have been shown to be very successful, profitable, and the issues at the end of the evening are minimal. So I would like to get this moving, and let's get these zonings changed. Thank you.
Any other new business? Mr. Kyra?
Isn't there zoning for brew pubs now? I thought that
You
that
can't
was
have
already
a
put in.
tasting room's the problem.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah.
I think there's, it
That's-
probably needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's some, I think there's some other
You need
nuances
basically a
around
full
it too, aren't they? Like really,
And it
yeah,
can't go
like
in industrial
food and
zone, has,
certain
so it can,
foods.
it's a little tough.
Okay. Any other new business from the board? Mr. Manager, important dates.
So important dates. So through October 5th, we still have the farmers market at the town common Sundays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On July 16th, so that's 2 days from now, we have the concert on the common at 6:30 p.m. It's the Rico Bar Band. Next week, on July 23rd, the concert on the common at 6:30 p.m. is Southern Rail. And the following week, July 30th, the concert on the common at 6:30 p.m. is Ball in the House. On August 5th, as the chief mentioned earlier, we have National Night Out at Rotary Park from 5 to 9. August 7th is Purple Heart Day. August 14th, we have the Library Summer Bash at the Town Common at 5:30 p.m. August 13th, we have brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 8 to 2. August 16th, we have brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 9 to 4. August 18th is our next select board meeting here in Town Hall, Room 9 at 7 o'clock p.m. September 1 is Labor Day. Town offices will be closed that day. September 8th is our next select board meeting after the August meeting, Town Hall, Room 9, 7 o'clock p.m. September 10th, brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 8 to 2. September 13th, brush drop-off at Old Main Street from 9 to 4. Very important, September 13th, special town meeting at the Wilmington High School in the gymnasium, 9 o'clock a.m. And then September 16th, special town election, the polls open 8 to 8. And then finally, September 22nd, the select board meeting here in Town Hall, Room 9, 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Salute to service. Apologize so much, no worries. Okay, I'd like to end the meeting on a positive note. We have a salute to service. This salute to service this meeting is to Kevin Robbins, who enlisted in the United States Navy on October 28, 1969, and served aboard the Harlan R. Dixon. He was discharged on September 30th, 1971. His awards include the National Defense Service Medal. A lifelong Wilmington resident, Ken is willing to help whenever he is available and assist us with all of our Memorial Day and Veterans Day events. So I'd like to, on behalf of the Select Board, salute to service, say thank you very much to Mr. Kenneth Robbins for his service. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.